Hey y'all.
Welcome back to the cabin and another edition of Cabin Chat. So something that's been on our mind lately is something that we struggle with a lot of times, and that is burnout on the homestead.
Yeah, that's not hard.
No, it's not. It's not hard to get there. You can overdo, especially if you're my type personality, where I just get up and I hit the floor going and try to get too much accomplished in one day.
And try to get me up and get going.
So what we finally had to do, because especially in the summertime when it's hot and humid, it doesn't take long to burn out, literally.
Overdo it.
Overdo it. You can overdo it. And it can be discouraging, and you just think it's too much, and there are times when it is too much. But there's something that a homesteader or anybody, this applies to anybody, there's something that they cannot do, and is they cannot do it all.
No, we're not going to be perfect. We're not trying to be perfect.
No, and we have to prioritize, don't we?
Right.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is just do the best we can.
Yeah.
And go with that. And if you pace yourself and don't get in a hurry and don't try to do everything at one time, it works pretty good.
Yeah, it does. You have to pace yourself, but you have to prioritize the things that are important. And I would say start with God.
Yeah.
And then family, and then the homestead. And of course, when we prioritize the homestead, the first thing that we have to do, the very first thing that has to be done every day, twice a day, is milk Lily. So that's a given. That is the priority as far as tending to the livestock and the animals, is making sure that Lily is milked twice a day.
Especially now, and that's on you, because we got a milking machine that's down.
Yeah, tore up milking machine. And we can't get the contact information straight from the company we bought it from, which happens to be overseas. So, there you go. But once we get Lily milked, then we kind of have to decide what's most important from that point on. So probably right now, what's real important to me, and you too as well, is to preserve food.
Yeah.
Putting up food.
Keep putting up food, the food that we have, or put it in a position where we won't lose it. Right. In case something were to happen with electricity. We've got a couple of freezers, actually 3 of them, that's got a right good bit of food in it, and if something happened, we'd lose all that.
Right, right. And we've been in situations. Yeah, we've been in those situations before, and there's a lot of talk in the homestead community about going off-grid by choice or not by choice, depending on what the future holds. We've been hearing a lot of talk about EMPs and things like that, and those may sound far-fetched, and hopefully they are, but we just want to be prepared and not be caught off guard. So I like to diversify my food pantry, and that's why we're doing a lot of canning out of the freezers right now.
Well, we have generators backup to keep things running, but and I don't understand an EMP that well, but from what I understand, if we have that, it'll burn up all the circuit boards. Nothing will work.
Right. Well, and we're chasing rabbits here, but I go back to if you've seen any of my prior videos, I talk about having a pilot light oven, a pilot lit oven, and that is going to be a blessing in that situation, because there are no electronics involved with that. It has pilot lights for the top burners as well as the oven. Now, if you have a gas stove that does have an electronic board, and something like an EMP could just fry that board, I'm not even sure that the valves would open to get gas to the top burners. Now, I know that in a hurricane situation, we have had a stove that the top burner would work, but we couldn't light the oven. Couldn't light the oven. So I don't know what the new ones are, but that little stove is a blessing, and it needs a few minor repairs, and that'll be coming along if we can get the parts.
We also have a couple of outside cookers.
Yeah, we have some outside.
A 2-burner and a single burner outside cooker.
And those are going to be a blessing in a case like that too. So, but getting back to prioritizing what we have to do, well, that was part of it, is putting up food. I'm
not looking for all that to happen, but you never know.
We don't know.
And you've heard threats, so you don't know going over across the pond, you know, and how they're thinking.
Right. So we just, first of all, we put our trust in God, but God did give us common sense to use to take care of ourselves. So, and that's what we're doing, is just making sure that we're not totally vulnerable to what the future may hold, as far as not being food being available, or electricity maybe not being available for a while.
You know, we can put up all the food in the world, but we're limited as to how much water we can do. And I mean, we've got a lot of water. We can probably handle about 600 gallons of water.
But you know,
that would go an awful long way. But not with the animals. Not with the animals.
And of course, you'd learn to ration, but you know, the animals, you don't want them to suffer as well.
They have to have water, and I mean,
especially Lily, when she gives back so much. Water is a priority with a family milk cow, because she drinks a lot of water because she's putting out a lot of liquid, and so that is absolutely a priority there.
It has to be replaced.
It has to be replaced. And we've talked about that in some other previous cabin chats, haven't we? And we're still not where we need to be as far as our water, but that's something we're working on today, as a matter of fact.
We're trying out, we got
an old-fashioned well digger.
We're going to try that, but we're out. Not going to try to go down deep, just try to go down far enough to get water.
Right.
Just water. I mean, probably won't be the best water in the world, but it'll be water.
Well, it would be a shallow well, but where we live is so rural, and there's not a lot of industry. Well, really, there's no industry to speak of that would have any effect on the water here.
Yeah.
So, and there's not a lot of farming around us, as far as row crop farming or heavy pesticide, herbicide use farming. Most of it's hay farming or cattle around us, or timber, which is a huge industry right around us. So the groundwater would tend to be more safer than maybe in some other areas. But another thing that I'm looking to buy is a good water filter, like a Berkey filter or something like that. But these are just things that are that's still projects in the making. But to get back to the burnout, we have come in at night or in the evenings and pushed ourselves so hard, and it's been very hot, and we're not spring chickens anymore, which is obvious, but
what are you saying?
But no, we're not spring chickens anymore. And we would come in, and it is discouraging when you work yourself that hard and you think, I can't keep doing this. Well, don't keep doing it. You have to pick and choose and slow down, or you won't be able to keep doing it.
One of the places that we have a problem with that is shutting down of the evening.
Right.
Because we have projects going on, we can work till 11 o'clock at night, and that's, if you go that late, then you're going to be in bed late, and you're losing some of the best time of the day.
Right. Yeah, well, that's not our preference. It just kind of ends up that way. So we've been working on making sure that we get to bed earlier and getting up earlier, which makes us really more productive.
Absolutely.
A lot more productive.
Absolutely. I'm not real excited about getting up at 5 o'clock every morning, you know, at 5 o'clock in the morning. But then once I get up, that's, you know, I can get my day started. But if I stay up half the night and then stay in bed till 7 or 7:30,
that's not normal.
No, it's not normal. And it, like I said, I'm not eager to jump out of bed. But if I don't go on and get up, then I've always done that, and I don't know how to do anything different, you know.
Well, and something else that I'm adjusting to, Jerry retired a few years ago. He doesn't stay retired, but I always had the same routine. We would get up in the morning and I would get him off to work, and then I had my routine through the day. And most of our married life, I'd been blessed to be able to be a stay-at-home mom and a housewife and homemaker, and I know that those are not popular terms, but I consider it an honor, because the Bible says that we're to be the keeper of the home. So the word housekeeper is not a bad word to me. It's a blessing and it's an honor. But now that Jerry's retired, my routine has changed as well. So that plays into the blooper video. You want down?
Get your cigar, son.
So my routine I've had to adjust my routine as well. So Another thing that I really want to encourage you to do is to find rest in God's Word. When you just get overwhelmed, remember that's not the place that God wants you to be. He wants you to find comfort in His Word and with Him. And I tend to, and you can probably speak to this as well, but I tend to get my eyes off of God and onto the busyness of the day. And that seems to be
That's not hard to do.
That's not hard to do.
Hard to do. When a lot of times we ask God to help us with something, then we try to go on about it on our own.
Oh,
and not wait on Him to.
That's kind of like the man that was slipping off the roof.
Yeah.
And he is asking God to catch me, help me, Lord. And his overalls caught on a nail, and he said, "Never mind, I got it."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we ask for help, and then sometimes we just make our own decisions and do it ourselves. But I just want to encourage you to not get discouraged and take time for yourself. Take a breather and rest. And if it doesn't all get done, it doesn't have to get done. There are some things that have to get done, but I mean, there's some things that you can put off till tomorrow.
Well,
and
only one thing has to get done first, and then after that, you follow with the second thing.
You follow it, right.
It can't all be first.
Right, exactly. Exactly. They can't all be number one. You pick number one, you do it, then number two, number three. And I know I make a lot of lists when I'm trying to get stuff done in the house, and I make a daily list, but usually that daily list turns into a weekly list, because if I put 7 things on there, I may not get them all 7 done in one day, and it just goes to the next day and the next day. So, but don't get discouraged. Take a breather, and don't think that you're failing because you didn't get everything done in one day.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with setting goals. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do a lot more. But then when you don't reach that, don't get discouraged. Like you said, just carry on, one thing at a time. Everything you get done, you're better off than you was before you got it done.
Absolutely. When you got up that morning and you made your bed, you're already better off than you was before you got out of bed. So, and the most important thing was God woke you up and you got out of bed. So that right there is the priority.
Was able to.
Right. Well, and now that fall is coming on, that'll renew your strength, and things will look a little bit different and a little bit better, and just.
You know, it's been a little cooler here the last few days.
It has.
That's helped me, you know,
Oh, it has
being
me
able
too.
to. Well, we got the fence work done.
Yeah.
Got it started. No, we didn't get it done. We got it started.
We had So we've got some fence work to do, and Lily decided to remind us that we needed some fence work.
We had one of those solar boxes.
Solar hot box.
And it had died. The battery died on it. And Lily's never been in any trouble about pushing on the fence, so we never even we thought we'd get another one, you know.
We'll get one day.
But then we caught her with her head through the fence the other day, all up in the asparagus and
the comfrey. Yeah.
So we got to do a lot of changes to the fencing, but the main thing was get a strand hot. We went out there and got 2 strands hot today, and got it going, and then that'll allow us to put her back out there.
Right.
Not have to worry about her.
Right.
And then after a while, after she's been introduced to it a little bit, which she done hit it.
Yeah, she hit it, and a cow is way less tolerable of electricity, of an electric fence, than a horse is.
Yeah, she shouldn't be in any trouble.
No,
we can shut it back off and go for those. We got the top 2 wires done, and we got one more we need to do. And in places, when she calves, we got 4 wires for a calf, you know.
Yeah.
But
which is something else that we got. Which is something else that we'll be doing here pretty soon, is taking her to the Mississippi State University to have her AI'd. We missed our window of opportunity, and so we're having to put it off a little bit longer because we have
somewhere around January.
Yeah, because if we took her right now, it would be an August calf, and we've had an August calf, and it's so hot here. It's miserable for her. It's miserable for the baby, and if you have a problem, it just sets you up for quick infections. And so we're trying to get our timing on our calves a little bit better. So we're gonna. What did you say about January?
Yeah, we're looking at taking her probably sometime in January.
Yeah, and so that
maybe December, but January would be better.
That'll put us into about October of next year, which she's still producing good. She's dropped just a little bit. We was getting
If we win in December, that would put us around this time of year. And the only thing about that is that would be okay, but the only thing is, like, in the past week, we've been in the close to 90 degrees, and we've been in the low 60s.
Low 60s. So, I mean, this you never know right now.
You never know right here. You know.
Yeah. So, but this is getting into the better time of year as far as I don't want her to calve, which being in Mississippi, you know, it's really not too bad. But I don't want her to calve, and our colds come in February. It seems like. Late January and February, so I don't want her to calve then either. So we're trying to get that perfect window and get her AI'd, and hopefully for a heifer. She's had 3 heifers, and her last 3 calves. So we just need one more. You know.
How's the raised beds looking?
They're looking pretty good, but I tell you what, it's fall, so we're gonna be amending them, right?
We planted some peas a little bit too early.
Yeah, we planted, the heat got to them. Yeah, some English peas.
Some of them, maybe about half of them's coming up, but they're slow. They should be,
They're sluggish. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe might get a little something off of them.
Yeah.
And put down, what about 9 cabbage?
And we got 2. Yeah. Well, one thing that we've had a problem with, now that my sweet potatoes went in late this year, I didn't get them in until the first week of July. And
I don't know what they look like below the ground, but above the ground,
oh my goodness. Well, sweet potatoes need about 120 days, and so I'm kind of pushing it, but they, you know, we still have some warm weather coming on, and they are just October.
Maybe not quite a month.
Yeah, and they, my goodness, they love that composted cow manure. They just exploded. When we first, now these are slips that I started from some organic sweet potatoes that I had purchased, and I got them in the ground late, like I said, and once we got them hardened off, we had to cover them with a sheet, keep them covered because the sun was just blistering them. Yeah. But once they took hold, they just took off. So I'm hoping that what's underneath the ground is as pretty as on top. So, okay.
All right, what about our little raised bed that we're planning on putting the plantain in? We're fixing to go out there in a little bit this afternoon or tomorrow sometime. Fill that booger up with turnips.
Well, with this soft rain that we got going on now, that would be the perfect time to go ahead and put the turnip seeds out. And we've got a few days of warmer weather coming up, so that'll help them germinate. So in the next week or so.
I don't know how much more rain we got coming, don't know how hard it is, but I want to go out there and booger that ground up just a little bit. It'll take but a few minutes with that fork, and then we can broadcast them out there. And if we take that hose and just put it on the
mist them so they'll stick. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh. Yeah. And also the raised bed next to it, I think I've got some collard seeds left. If not, we'll hit the co-op or Tractor Supply. Probably the co-op for Planter Supply. We'll hit Planter Supply and put some collards down. And I love rutabagas, so I don't know if we got room for them. So
we're gonna make room for rutabagas.
We're gonna make room for them. So put in the sweet potatoes, and then I also put in some butternut squash from seeds that I saved last year. And that's another thing that you need to be investigating and researching is saving seeds. We might have to do a video on that. But the butternut squash just really flourished. It loves composted cow manure too. It is just phenomenal. I've got four vines, and I actually put them on tripods when they were just taking over the raised bed, and I've never done butternuts on any kind of trellis, but I'm telling you, they are loaded with butternuts. So I'm hoping, Lord willing,
we got that little net and fencing around there to try to keep chickens out, and they was climbing all over that.
Yeah, they was climbing all over the net, and so wait, come here, going up here. So the butternut is doing good. The sweet potatoes are doing phenomenal. We're going to get turnips, collards, and maybe rutabagas planted in the next day or two while we've got a little bit more warm weather to help them germinate. So.
And Boo's trying to tell us what to plant. Yeah. Come here, boy.
And Boo's tired of us filming, so.
All right.
Or is that it? So I had purchased. Back in the spring, I had gone to Tractor Supply, and my better judgment didn't kick in. And I purchased some hybrid chickens, some Isa Browns and some Comets, and a couple of white Leghorns, which those aren't hybrids, I don't think. But anyway, I had also ordered some little chicks, and so now and they were late because of the hatch, and everybody's was buying chicks then. So I didn't get them till like July. But the ones that I ordered were called Delawares, and I've never had Delawares. And
you've got a video coming up.
Yeah, we got a video coming up on those. They are awesome Homestead chickens. They, especially if you have children, they're very sweet little birds. Well, they're going to be big birds. They're good sized chickens when they're grown, and these are not quite grown, but they just have the sweetest personalities. They're very all over you when you go out there. They're not afraid. And they are a dual purpose, a true dual purpose bird. So they lay large brown eggs, and they're a great meat bird. So, but you'll have to check the video out.
I was say, you fix a spoiled video.
I know,
what is this?
A video spoiler. So you'll just have to check it out. You'll see some great footage of the babies and everything.
Yeah, we'll make that one short.
Yeah, that'll be like a 5 or 6 minute video and tell you some stuff about them. So if you're a subscriber, I want to encourage you to check your notification bell, and if you have it wrong and you're not getting notifications on the videos, to unring it and ring it again, and a lot of times that will reset the notifications on there. And also, if you're not a subscriber, we invite you to subscribe and come along on this journey with us and see what kind of shenanigans we get caught up in.
Enjoy the ride.
And enjoy the ride, and give us a thumbs up, and we love feedback. So be sure to leave us a comment, some tips that you might have to avoid burnout, or some things that you face each day.
On anything else we do.
Anything. We love feedback. If you see a better way, tell us about it. If you have a question, ask us, So, and you know that I'm going to leave you with these words. Don't ever forget that your Heavenly Father loves you. And we'll see you
on the next video.
God bless.